It's Jake again, and this is my channel, Jake and Ashley. And I wanted to do a game review. Again, my last game review, I wasn't able to do the DVR for like Wolfenstein and Watch Dogs, just because I couldn't really get myself to spend that much time editing and doing anything with those games that I would consider work, because it didn't look like they did much work putting it together. So I felt okay not DVRing it. The game that I do want to, I wish I could DVR, is Star Wars The Old Republic. Now if you look, I have some stuff out here that I've put since my last channel, and I wanted to just give myself a little bit of legitimacy, I guess, for reviewing a video game. And I think the thing that would give you legitimacy in any industry is being a part of that industry for an extremely long time. And this right here is my Vectrex. This came out in 1982. I was born in 1982, and my very first memories are coming into, we lived with my grandparents and my dad, and this is what I would do. It was in my room. I would go, I'd sit in front of it. I had like 4 or 5 games for it, and this was the very first. Basically, I can consider it a console. I mean, they had some kind of computer out at the time, but this was more of like the console thing. This is what you had in your home, and this is thanks to my grandparents. They held on to this. It was in a box, and now it's part of my collection, and they wanted me to have it. And then right over here, I don't know how much you could see, but it's just a basic Sega. And just like every other kid, I went from this, which was pretty cool. I didn't really understand what I had because I was so young, but I went from this to seeing everybody get their Atari. And because I had this, I cruised through the Atari era without ever having to buy one, because I had a game that well, it wasn't like that. My parents didn't want to buy one because we already had this. They're thinking, why hook it up to the TV when there's those rumors that it might mess up your TV? So when the Sega Genesis came out, I was going to a lot of friends' houses, and I believe it was one year I asked for it for Christmas. I got the Game Boy for Christmas. Usually the consoles are a Christmas item, and it was the next step. And then I went from Super Nintendo. That one I don't have anymore because we weren't living with our grandparents, and eventually that got sold off. But now all I play console-wise is my Xbox 360, and something that I was never able to transition to was PC gaming. I would go over to friends' houses and, I mean, as an adult, go and see people playing WoW, and that just never seemed, as a console gamer, it was just too complicated. I see them using a keyboard, all the keys and the chats and everything. It just, when you're going from a console like Sega, or maybe even a Super Nintendo, or, excuse me, the Nintendo Cube thing, seeing somebody with their keyboard busting it out really, really quick is just, it's too daunting. So it wasn't until I got Wolfenstein and Watch Dogs that I didn't really see what the next new title was. What am I waiting for? Because ultimately I'm waiting for the Xbox One, and that's way down the road financially for me. So I'm still looking. And I saw a commercial that showed the Star Wars The Old Republic, that you could buy a house on Coruscant and travel throughout the galaxy, and it's free. So I was like, what do I have to, what am I really losing if I spend 10 minutes, download it on my laptop, and see if maybe it's something that, maybe it's a computer game that I can handle. And because this is my first RPG, I didn't come in on Final Fantasy, I didn't come in on, well, any RPGs, because I can't name them off the top of my head. This was the game that to me was the build the character, pick whether you're good or evil, pick very story driven, not so much your ranking system and what spells you have and all this and that. And that is wonderfully what this is. It's very story driven, it's free, it's easy to operate. I've been playing for a week, and as, I don't know if you can see the screen, but I'm level 18. It's from somebody that was coming from a console, looking for something that seemed like the next generation. To me, this is it. This was easy to use. It's finally something that a console player can sit down, not get confused, not feel that it's out of their grasp to really get good at it. And that's my review. 10 out of 10. Out of all the games that I've gone through, this has been the funnest experience, the most related to something that I love, which you have a whole story for the good side. You have a whole story for the bad side, and in between all those choices, hours of gameplay, and free. So 10 out of 10 for this game. It should have been at E3. This should have been the one to get all the badges and awards. I love this game. I'm out.